Good morning. It's Monday, November 6th. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Amy Tan, Dean of the English and Communications Department, and today I'm playing the role of Todd Duplantis, who's not able to be with us today, but I am joined by Dr. Nicholas Cox, History Department Chair, and I'm glad to see you this morning. Good morning, Dr. Cox.
Good morning, Dean Tan. It is great to see you on a Monday. Normally, it's just me and Todd and our guests.
Yeah, and it was fun to see you this weekend at the Bedicheck Orman auction also.
Yeah, how was the Bedicheck Orman auction? Do you think we raised a lot of money for adjuncts?
I sure hope so. I know we had a lot of donations and a lot of participation, and my part of the fun for me is watching everybody get dressed up and participate in the theme. How about you?
Well, you guys had great costumes. I don't know if our audience out there are aware, but you and your friends won the award for best costumes of the night. So well done as the um, baseball team from A League of Our Own.
That's right. That was Jenny Baca's brainchild, so she gets the credit for the group costume this year. So it was super fun. Well, and thanks for joining us. And everyone can join us on social media and on TV.
That's right. We are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page. We're also on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn, X, and HCCTV at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
That's right. You can always find us on your local social media. Today, we're happy to welcome a student to the show who's active in a couple of clubs, including communications. Ariyan Behrouz. He is president of the Communications Club, CSSA, and Clothing Club. Welcome to the show, Ariyan.
Hello, thank you. Glad to be here.
And we'll be right with you, and Dr. Cox will interview you in just a moment.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Excellent. First, for Mental Health Monday, we will welcome back one of our monthly guests to discuss doom scrolling, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, Executive Director of the Jung Center of Houston. Welcome back to the show, Sean.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be back.
And I know the Jung Center is pretty close to our Midtown campus, right? Is that on Main Street?
It's actually on Montrose, but
Montrose.
very close to Main Street, in the museum district, right next door to the Contemporary Arts Museum.
Yeah, that's an exciting feature for us to have right here in Houston.
Well, we're very fortunate. Yeah, we're very fortunate.
The recent terror attacks and their aftermath have flooded our news feeds with heartbreaking and often graphic depictions of violence. How does this affect our mental health?
A good question, and I think it affects our mental health in a lot of different ways. I don't know if we might remember the word sort of came into consciousness right at the beginning of the pandemic. We had this term called doom scrolling, and it was describing an experience that many of us, certainly I was having, which is my news feeds or social media feed would just be filled with story after story after story of, how the world was going to end, how we were all going to die of COVID, or that the political tensions in the country were going to be were going to tear us apart. And so doom scrolling was a way of describing that, just feeling as though you couldn't disengage. In a way, it was a way of managing our experience of threat, because we were experiencing real threats in the world, and but because we're trying to stay informed, right? So we're sort of hypnotized by the threats that are appearing to us on the screen. But if we're exposed to more of that than we can handle, really more stress than we can handle, it's pretty easy to get overwhelmed.
And why do we get overwhelmed by the doom scrolling?
It begins it's a natural process. It sort of begins in a natural process, right? So what we're doing is dealing with experiences of danger. These are normal responses to experiences of danger. When we experience a threat, and this is crucial, whether it's to us personally or to other people, whether we witness it or somebody tells us about it, a bunch of things happen at once. So adrenaline hits our systems, our eyes dilate, our blood pressure increases, our digestive system slows down, our bodies become highly alert to threats. And we can understand that to be part of the issue with doom scrolling. We can't look away because our bodies are deeply attuned to threats in the environment. So we're paying attention to them. When we witness graphic content, and I know have personally people who have had this experience very recently, it it's very available right now from Israel-Palestine, particularly on social media. That content that can really deepen these responses in problematic ways. One of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is intrusive thoughts or images, and highly graphic images wound us and may return again and again in our imagination. It may disrupt our sleep, make it hard to focus, and actually we can begin to feel numb. We can begin to feel sort of detached from ourselves. This is something that has been common for journalists for a long time, and social media content moderators have it quite badly, and that these are the people who are trying to protect us from these graphic images, and to do so they have to watch it, and it can have a cumulative effect.
That is fascinating. And I know that I'm certainly guilty of doom scrolling. And, I know that like I'll be looking down at my phone on, so, I'll be looking at social media and I'll literally lose time. It's like I just wake up, like I don't even realize how much time has passed. So what can we do about it? How can we balance staying adequately informed without exposing ourselves to unnecessary risk? Because we also, of course, we want to know what's going on.
Yeah, and in good conscience, right? Not we want to know so that we can make the best choices about how we are going to address the threats that are going on in the world, and how we're going to relate to them. Our bodies really, in this case, our bodies are the best guides. So just allowing ourselves to notice what's happening, if we're unable to look away from our screens, it is a good indication that we do need to look away, right? It's that inability to move past the next story. If we find ourselves unable to sleep, or waking up in the middle of the night, to pick the phone back up and check, or just processing what we've seen. If we also notice our lives disrupted in other ways, it's just time for a break, and training ourselves to take breaks is really important and valuable. It's hard to do because these devices are designed to keep our eyes firmly on them. There's a lot of money and energy and time and brilliant human imagination that has gone into keeping our eyes on those devices. But we need to, I think another path here that may be not have so much to do with turning our eyes away from the device, but maybe making choices about what we watch. I would say that we should make decisions about how and where we would disengage with news. I have in the past said that the last thing I ever want to watch is cable news, because it plays, and I still feel that way. Actually, I stay pretty far away from it because it goes straight to keep our eyes on the screen. It goes straight to what will engage us the most, and by that I mean engage our desire to protect ourselves and be safe. And so making choices about what we watch, how we watch it, how much time we spend with it, is really important. I would say something else that, if we find that if we're caught and we're experiencing intrusive thoughts or images, a simple practice that any of us can do anytime, anywhere, is just to return to the present moment. These images can start a process of response in which we get stuck. It's like we get caught in that moment, either when we watched it or the moment of the trauma itself. And so what we can do is we can take a moment to take our eyes away from the screen and to just notice what's happening in our environment around us. So notice 4 things that we see, notice 3 things that we hear, which may take a little bit of effort, which is a good thing. Maybe notice 2 things that we feel against our skin. And that technique, what it does is it takes us out of the trauma time. It takes us out of the moment when the trauma is happening and brings us back into this present moment when ostensibly we are actually safe, and we don't need to respond to a threat because it's not immediate. It's not in the room with us.
That's an excellent practice to just try to center and be present. Well, and before I have to let you go, tell us really quickly a couple of things that are happening at the Jung Center.
You bet. So into November, we're still very busy. We have upcoming in 2 weeks, we have a wonderful lecture series by Fanny Brewster. Fanny Brewster is a Jungian analyst. This lecture series is called the Faye Lecture Series. She'll be speaking on the racial psyche. And these lectures are annual, and then they are published by Texas A&M University Press. The lectures are then edited into volumes afterwards. So it's free. It's open to the public. You can attend in person. We have a cap on how many can attend in person, but we also will be offering it online. So you can find that at our website, junghouston.org. And we also are a nonprofit art gallery space, and we have a great show up right now. It's called Multi-Senses of Dyslexia. It's by a dyslexic artist and retinal surgeon. Her name is Stephanie Skolik, and what she does is she makes the work available to all of our five senses. So even though it begins with a painting, there are actually different ways that people can engage with it, including these clay representations of the work, so that people who are unsighted can actually touch the paintings.
That just sounds incredible. And I hope everybody will get out and head over to the Jung Center to check that out. I want to thank you, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, Executive Director of the Jung Center of Houston, and our Mental Health Monday guest. We'll have all of your info in the post after the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tan. Y'all have a great week.
You too. And I'll turn it over to Nick.
Thank you both. I appreciate that. Well, welcome to the show, Ariyan Behrouz, HCC student and president of the Communications Club, Computer Science Association, and the Coding Club. Ariyan, that's a lot. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I'd like to start by noting for everybody that you are an HCC student and very active in student associations and clubs. But tell us a little bit about your time at HCC. What brought you here, and what are you doing while you're at HCC as a student?
Yeah, so there's a long story short. I was really close to Houston Community College, and I want to kickstart my college, year with my college career in a relatively a small college. So Houston Community College was really good for me, but it would turn out on kind of unexpected. There were a lot of friends I met, a lot of people I met, and they gave me a lot of opportunities, such as being the president and connecting with high industry people. So it was a lot to fathom, but it was great, and I'm really grateful that I've been in an ACC.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We have a lot of campuses, but each campus is a place where our classrooms are relatively small and our campuses are relatively close communities where you can make friends and find opportunities. Do I understand that you are planning on being a software engineer? Is that right? Are you studying to be a software engineer?
Yes, so I'm currently a major in computer science, and I'm planning to be a software engineer, hopefully in the future. Yes.
How will the effective communication skills that you promote in your associations help you as a software engineer?
Yeah, so for example, in our communications club that we have, in communications club, we practice soft skills, public speaking, having to communicate with people, such as networking, which is really essential in all careers, I would say, not just in computer science, not just in software engineering. So we plan to use these skills that we are promoting in communications club, or even a CSA or coding club. We're planning to use these skills so we can be better at communication and networking with people. So, for example, we had an event a couple of weeks ago, such as how to debate with someone in a good manner. It's not making it really uncomfortable. So, as in skills, using these skills in software engineering, well, of course, they will be really different. Each major and each career has its different unicality. You have different communication skills methods you have to use, but nevertheless, communication and communicating with people, networking is the foundation of every career.
Well, I understand each of these associations does some different things, different events and activities. Tell us a little bit about the hackathon and some of the other things that communication club members participate in.
Yeah, so let me start with the hackathon. Hackathon was sponsored by our other organization. It's called CSSA, which stands for, like you said, Computer Science Association, which is mainly focuses on tech. And we have a lot of members. We have close to 600 members, active and non-active members, and about 60 active members currently very active in the club. So as in there, in the CSA, for example, and the hackathon we had, people that showed up. We had competitions for programming competitions, such as making multiple programs at the limited time, and of course we had prizes, which was a great turnout. We practiced and we met a lot of people that were really good at coding, and they started to kickstart their programming career, especially programming competition. So that was one of the best things we ever had for our computer science association, or say in the HCC as an organization.
And what distinguishes the coding club from the computer science association? What would the coding club members be doing distinctly from communications or CSA?
Yeah, so Communications Club is mainly focused on soft skills, such as talking with people, networking, finding friends, such as public speaking. Coding Club is more of a technical thing, so more of a technical skills, like such as how to program, how to program in Python, how to program in C++. What are the differences between these languages, the fundamentals of programming? So that one is distinguishes between soft skills and hard skills. As if for the CSA, which is a main organization, it's like a parent organization of the coding club. Since we have a lot of members, we tend to have more opportunity for them. So one of the opportunities we provide is the coding club. So if you're in a CSA, of course, you can be also in the coding club. You participate in the coding club, such as learning new languages, connecting with high industry people, and so on.
Okay, all right. Well, Ariane, I'm going to ask you here to get honest and a little personal. How have the communication club improved your communication skills?
Oh wow, it helped me a lot. I was a really like an introvert person. I was really had a hard time communicating with people, connecting with people, and ACC has provided me the opportunity to, advance my skills in public speaking, connecting with people. So I thought, might as well just create a club, such as Communications Club, where people like me who are introverts can, practice and become like an extrovert. Well, it's really hard to become an extrovert, but at least try to become communicative with people and able to communicate, and such as do public speaking. So it helped me a lot. I was not able to do like public speaking. I had like a fear, anxiety, and communication club allowed me to put these into practice with other people, and also get like from my advisors, Dr. Stagg, who's the communications club advisor, helped me to, get comfortable with myself, learn new skills, practice my soft skills. So it definitely helped me. And without that, I would have probably been, having a hard time communicating with people.
No, that's wonderful to hear, and I'm happy to hear that you've been having those successes as you've worked on the communications courses and communication club activities. Certainly, you and I and our audience all know the stereotype of the IT guy who has communications problems, right? So it sounds like you're doing a lot to break that down and maybe even obliterate that stereotype. So a couple questions before we run out of time. When and where can students start joining these club meetings?
Yeah, so I would say since the presence is probably is transferred to another website, is planning to transfer, so we can no longer use presence. We have to add people manually to our Microsoft team. So what they can do is sign up on those flyers that we provided, or they can join our Discord channels. Which is very active. We have Discord channels for every single one of them, CSA and Communications Club, and of course Coding Club is on the CSA teams and Discord. So they can find these in our flyers, or they can connect with, of course, people like from the IT department. They will help them out to join these clubs.
Well, we're certainly going to have all of your information in our notes after the show, so they should be able to find you that way. Besides joining the club, what are some things students can get involved doing besides just attending in-person or virtual meetings? Are there officers or tasks that you particularly need students to help with?
Yeah, so we have in every single club and organization, we have board members, such as we have vice presidents, we have chief information officer, chief marketing officer, and so on. And they will have different tasks that will help, particularly like just that club. And it helps it tremendous. Like it will help to market. It will help to practice the skills for them as well. So it's like a great opportunity for them to practice their skill. So one of the things it's really essential in speaking, like you said, and especially in like a software engineering, people are in a IT tech, they're really hard to communicate with, which is really understandable since we are as rapidly advancing through the time, it's really hard to communicate with people, and especially with the cell phones. So we're trying to provide these opportunities and positions so they can practice on their skills. For example, one of the things we had, which is really great turnout, in our communications club, we had like a debate night, I would say. It was in the morning, but we call it a debate night. So in the debate day, what we talked about, we came up with different topics to talk about, and people actually showed up and talked, and they came out of their shells, which is really tremendous. And I was really happy to see them actually, becoming a better person. And this was really a success, not just for me, but for the whole communications club and everybody.
Well, thank you so much, Ariyan. I appreciate you taking time here to share all of these activities with our audience, and I hope that people find you after the show and start getting involved. So that is Ariyan Behrouz, president of the Communications Club, the Computer Science Association, and the Coding Club. We'll have your information in our post after the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, we've got some announcements for you. Back to Dean Amy Tan.
Sorry about that. I had myself on mute. Thanks so much, Nick. Thanks, Ariyan. Yes, we have some news and announcements to get to, and we are quickly running out of time, but we want to congratulate one of communications' own, Dr. Amel Young. HCC Chancellor Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher has selected Dr. Amel Young as the Vice Chancellor of Public Information, Communications, and External Affairs as interim chief of staff. This will be in addition to his current duties. Dr. Young has served HCC for 18 years, aiding in the passage of a successful $425 million bond election for capital improvements and the restoration of $10 million in state appropriated funds. He also led HCC communications during a leadership transition period to better promote community engagement, enhance relationships, and leverage a branding opportunity with the Houston Texans. In addition, he helped pass legislation that enables community colleges to offer baccalaureate degrees. Congratulations, Dr. Young, on this role.
All right. Well, mark your calendars, everybody, because tomorrow, November 7th, Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m., the Da Camera Artistic Director, Sarah Rothenberg, will play the late Beethoven sonatas as a special HCC concert. No need to register, just attend. That's at the HCC Stafford Recital Hall, room 114.
And we'll have veterans cards and cupcakes at Coleman for Veterans Day. HCC Coleman is honoring all who serve by creating cards for veterans at the Michael DeBakey Veteran Affairs Medical Center. That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's today, and also tomorrow, Tuesday, November 7th at HCC Coleman Atrium. Check the post after the show.
And we have another event this week for you. This is Wednesday, November 8th at 4 p.m. This event is virtual in Teams, but there is a series called Recipes for Success, Student Life Tips. There will be several virtual workshops coming up to assist students in improving skills, studying needs, or to lead to the grades that they want to earn. On Wednesday, Academic Essay Structures.
And I'm going to jump ahead to registration. Spring registration is open. It's ongoing. Don't forget, you can choose online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid in-person, and hybrid lab classes. To learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options, and to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply. Nick, thanks so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, Dean Tan. Have a great week.
And don't forget to join us tomorrow, a special day when we host HCC Northwest President Dr. Zachary Hodges, along with the first speaker from its speaker series launching this week. And later for Gaming Wednesday, we'll welcome the Houston Arcade Expo. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.